How to get any woman and make her fall in love with you. Advises for men. Modern Stoic. Love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. Osho. Let me share a truth that no one else is telling you. Winning a woman's heart isn't about looking a certain way, being wealthy, or even being the smartest guy in the room. If you want to truly attract and keep a woman's attention, you must first conquer yourself. And here's the tough part: most men struggle with this. Forget everything you've heard about what it takes to impress a woman. It's not about expensive gifts or adopting some artificial persona. What truly captivates women is emotional strength, your ability to remain calm, grounded, and steady, no matter what's going on around you. Let's be honest, if you don't have this down, no amount of cheesy pickup lines or confidence tips will make a difference. In fact, they'll probably hurt your chances. If you've ever felt invisible, rejected, or overlooked by women, it's because they can sense that you lack control over yourself. And that's exactly why they walk away. But here's the good news. The key to winning her heart is simpler than you think. By adopting a few timeless Stoic principles, you can unlock the secret to attracting women effortlessly. This isn't about learning tricks or tactics. It's about mastering your own mind and emotions. When you do this, everything else falls into place. Ready to dive in? Let's face it, the dating advice you've been given is all wrong. Society says you need to chase women, impress them with gifts and compliments, or, worse yet, pretend to be someone you're not. Then you wonder why things aren't working out, why she's not interested, or why she's pulling away. The truth is, you're doing it all backward. Here's a hard truth: the more you chase, the more you lose yourself, and she notices. Women can tell when you're not being genuine. The more you try to win her approval, the more she feels you're hiding something. Instead of chasing her, you need to learn to attract her. And the only way to do that is by mastering yourself. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt completely in control of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions? If you're like most men, you're probably reacting to her moods, her words, or her tests. But what if the key to capturing her attention and keeping it lies in mastering your inner world? It's about becoming unshakable emotionally, which makes you more attractive than any line or gesture could ever be. This isn't some new age gimmick. It's rooted in ancient wisdom, Stoicism. Now, you might be wondering what an ancient philosophy has to do with modern dating. The answer: everything. Stoicism is not about suppressing your emotions, it's about mastering them. When you stop reacting to every little thing and instead remain calm and centered, that's when she notices you. Not the guy who is constantly trying to impress, but the man who's grounded and self-assured. Imagine walking into any situation, whether it's a first date or a deepening relationship, with the kind of relaxed confidence that makes her feel safe and secure, while other guys are fumbling for words, cracking jokes to win her favor. You remain cool. No desperate need for her approval, just being genuinely present. That's power. That's the secret that makes you stand out in her eyes. Here's a fact that no one wants to say: women don't want to be chased. They want to be drawn in. When you stop trying to chase her or prove your worth, that's when she begins to feel something different. She'll be intrigued, curious, and most importantly, she'll start wanting you. Why? Because you're showing her something most men never do: self-control. Stoicism is the secret weapon you never knew you needed. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about becoming the type of man who naturally attracts attention. Not because of what you say or do, but because of who you are. When you learn to embody this, everything changes. You'll stop second-guessing every move, stop trying to impress, and simply be the man she starts to chase. This isn't difficult once you understand and apply these Stoic principles to your life. Not only will your dating life improve, but your relationships, career, and overall outlook will transform. It's all connected. So, are you ready to become the kind of man who commands respect and attention without ever needing to ask for it? Let's get started. Number 1. Words that connect deeply. Words are powerful tools, but most men completely miss the mark when it comes to using them to connect deeply with women. You don't need to be some charming wordsmith, spitting out clever lines or quippy remarks to impress her. That's an outdated, shallow approach that doesn't get you anywhere. No. The key is to say the right things at the right moment in a way that cuts through the superficial layers and resonates on a much deeper level. You see, women hear compliments all the time. You're beautiful, you're so hot, you have an amazing body, and so on. They've heard it all before. These kinds of compliments don't land anymore. They're almost automatic to her, not even a blip on her radar. They don't have the power to make her feel special or seen. But what she doesn't hear often enough are the compliments that go beyond her looks. Compliments that touch on the core of who she is as a person. And that, my friend, is where you come in. Now, let me tell you the first step in building a deeper connection through words. Use her name. I know this sounds so simple, almost too basic, but trust me, this is one of the most effective things you can do. When you use her name in conversation, you trigger something powerful in her mind. It makes her feel noticed, valued, and unique. Women crave feeling like they're the center of your attention, genuinely. Not as an afterthought. But don't overdo it. Use her name sparingly. Throwing her name into every sentence might sound contrived. Instead, sprinkle it in during key moments, when you're giving her a sincere compliment or when you're talking about something personal. It's a small gesture, but it makes her feel like she's the only person in the world to you at that moment. Next, shift your focus from the surface-level compliments to something much more meaningful. Compliment her mind, her values, her character, and stop being so predictable by only praising her looks. Sure, everyone likes hearing they're attractive, but it's the same tired thing she's heard 1,000 times. If you want to stand out, compliment her passion, her intelligence, her perspectives. If she's telling you about something that excites her, something she truly cares about, don't just smile and nod like the rest of the crowd. Engage with her on a deeper level. Tell her, I really admire how passionate you are about this. It's rare to find someone who thinks so deeply about the world. That's not just flattery, that's genuine admiration for who she is. And that's the kind of praise that will make her feel truly seen, respected, and understood. Then there's the often overlooked, yet incredibly potent power of gratitude. It's simple, but it works. A lot of guys forget to appreciate the little things that women do for them. She notices when you don't acknowledge her efforts, when you take her actions for granted. If she does something thoughtful, something small, don't just brush it off as if it's no big deal. Thank her. And I don't mean a quick, mindless thanks. No, make sure it's sincere. When you express genuine gratitude for her efforts, she feels valued. And in a world where most men ignore the small details and take women for granted, showing this kind of appreciation is like a breath of fresh air. It sets you apart from the rest. But let me throw in a warning here. One that I see far too often: stop over-apologizing. This is a big one, and it's a mistake many men make. Over-apologizing, especially for things you haven't even done wrong, is a huge turnoff. It's often an attempt to avoid conflict or keep the peace, but it makes you look weak, unsure of yourself. Women respect men who stand by their actions, who don't apologize for their opinions or who they are. Apologize when it's necessary, when you've made an actual mistake, but don't fall into the trap of over-apologizing just to avoid a little discomfort. Own your actions. Stand firm. This is a key principle of the modern Stoic. A modern Stoic understands that to be a man of integrity, you must act with confidence and purpose, even if it means discomfort at times. The blessing of Stoicism lies in the strength to move forward without being bogged down by unnecessary guilt or self-doubt. At the end of the day, the words you use and how you use them matter. The old Stoic teachings emphasize the importance of wisdom, self-control, and emotional clarity. Applying these principles to your interactions with women can make all the difference. You don't need to impress her with clever words or empty compliments. Instead, connect with her on a deeper, more authentic level. Show her that you value who she is as a person, not just as an object of attraction. And above all, remember that when you speak with sincerity and purpose, you can create a lasting, meaningful connection that goes far beyond the surface. That's how you truly get a woman to fall in love with you. Number 2, actions grounded in Stoicism. In the quest to win a woman's heart, words alone aren't enough. They're only half the equation. Your actions speak louder, and they always will. Words are powerful, but actions grounded in Stoicism carry more weight. Stoic principles remind us that what we do, how we move, how we carry ourselves, how we respond, is what leaves a lasting impression. If you want to make her fall for you, don't just talk. Walk the walk with purpose and deliberate intent. Your actions must align with your words, and you must embody calm inner confidence in every move. You want to be the man who radiates power and control, not through arrogance, but through stoic composure. You must master your body language. That sounds simple, right? But it's where most men miss the mark. Think about it if you're nervous, shifting your weight, fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact. You're broadcasting insecurity. She will notice, and it's game over before it even starts. The first step toward mastery is to calm your body. Stand tall. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Relax your shoulders. This isn't just about physical posture, it's about transmitting a sense of unshakable calm. You need to show her that you're confident in who you are. Confidence isn't about pretending to have it all together. It's about genuinely being comfortable in your own skin. You must be that person. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you master your body, you become more aligned with your thoughts, clear, deliberate, and unshakable. Next, move with purpose. It's not just about how you stand, it's about how you move. Most men don't realize how much their hurried, aimless movements betray their lack of confidence. Do you walk into a room with your head down, scanning nervously, trying to figure out where to go? Stop. That's a sign of uncertainty. Stoic men, on the other hand, move with deliberate calm. They don't rush. Every step they take is grounded, controlled, and intentional. They understand their space and their place in it. When you move through life with this same sense of intention, you show the world you belong there. You exude strength, self-assurance, and composure, and women pick up on this. They notice how you carry yourself. The way you move is magnetic. So take your time, walk with purpose, and let the world catch up with you. But it's not just about big gestures, the little things matter. Too many men believe that winning her heart requires grand, romantic acts. Forget that. The real magic lies in the small gestures, and it's not about buying her flowers or taking her on elaborate dates. It's about showing her that you're genuinely paying attention to the details. When she mentions her favorite author in passing, remember it and surprise her with a book by that author. When she opens up about a challenge she's facing, ask her how it's going. These small, thoughtful acts are what make a man stand out. They show her you're listening, you're present, you're engaged, you care. In a world that's often distracted and fast-paced, these little acts of attention speak volumes. As Marcus Aurelius taught, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By showing her that you are different, that you are present and thoughtful, you rise above the chaos of modern life, and that's what makes you irresistible. In today's world, being a man of strength and integrity is more important than ever. You must live according to the Stoic principles of control, discipline, and deliberate action. Don't waste time trying to impress her with flashy moves or superficial gestures. You must be grounded, calm, and intentional in everything you do. Show her who you really are. Be the man who can stand tall in the face of adversity. Be the man who exudes confidence without speaking a word. And most importantly, be the man who listens, not just with his ears, but with his heart. That is the essence of true strength. And when you embody these principles, you'll have what it takes to make her fall in love with you. This is your path to victory, to mastery, to true connection. The world won't stand a chance against a man who lives with the purpose, poise, and integrity of a Stoic. Now, go forward and own your space. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. Subscribe for more wisdom on how to embody Stoic confidence and personal mastery. Comment to remember, I am grounded in confidence and I move with purpose. Let's get the conversation started. Leave a comment and share how you implement these actions into your life. Number 3, stop trying to be the entertainer. Let's get this straight. Gentlemen, you don't need to be a walking comedy show to win her over. Too many men think they need to keep women entertained with non-stop jokes and stories. But here's the truth bomb, women aren't looking for a clown. They don't need a stand-up comedian. What they want, what truly captivates them, is a man who is present, who listens, who understands. So here's the shift: stop trying to be the life of the party. Instead, become the guy who listens more than he speaks. That's what draws them in. It's far more attractive than trying to make them laugh with every other sentence. You don't need to fill every silence with humor. When you listen, when you truly pay attention, you send a message that you're confident in yourself. You don't need to entertain her to get her attention. You need to be grounded, calm, and present. In other words, be the Stoic man who knows the value of listening rather than constantly performing. Be the man who chooses quiet confidence over noise. Applying Stoicism in modern relationships. Now, let's talk about what happens when things go off track. Because trust me, they will. Things don't always go as planned. Maybe the date is awkward. Maybe there's tension. Or maybe she starts pulling away, and you're left trying to figure out what went wrong. Most guys, they panic. They start overthinking, texting more, calling more, trying to fix things. But you're a Stoic. You take a deep breath. Stay composed. And remember, you cannot control everything. What you can control is your own response. You see, applying Stoicism in modern relationships isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about learning to stay calm amidst the chaos. It's not about controlling her actions. It's about controlling yours. And when you do that, you radiate the kind of steady, unshakable energy that attracts women. The date isn't going well. Imagine this: your date isn't going as planned. Maybe the conversation is awkward, maybe your food order is messed up, or maybe the restaurant is too noisy. The temptation is to panic. You might think you need to fix everything, to smooth things over and make the night perfect. But here's the Stoic truth: you don't need everything to be perfect. It's not about the situation, it's about how you handle it. A Stoic man doesn't get flustered by the little things. He stays calm, relaxed, and unbothered by external circumstances. The night doesn't need to be flawless for him to enjoy it. His power lies in his ability to remain composed. He doesn't let the external world disturb his inner peace. When she sees that you're not rattled by a minor hiccup, she feels at ease. She sees that you're a man who can stay calm under pressure. And that's an incredibly attractive trait. You're in control, not because everything is perfect, but because you are. She starts pulling away. Now, this one is tricky. If you've been on the dating scene for any amount of time, you know what it feels like when she starts to pull away. Maybe she's becoming less responsive. Maybe she's a bit distant and you're not sure why. Most men at this moment start panicking. They start texting more, calling more, trying to figure out what went wrong. And let me tell you, that's exactly what pushes her further away. But here's the Stoic approach: you can't control her actions. You can only control how you respond. Instead of chasing her, you take a step back. You give her space. And in that space, something remarkable happens. She begins to see that you're not like other guys. You're not desperate. You're not constantly trying to win her over. You're secure in yourself. And you don't need her attention to feel whole. This might sound counterintuitive, but trust me, it works. When a woman sees that you're not afraid to lose her, when she realizes that you're fine on your own, that's when the tables turn. Suddenly, she's the one chasing you. It's a complete shift in dynamics. Remember, in the world of Stoicism, the focus isn't on chasing external validation. It's about creating your own inner strength. You don't need to chase her love or approval. You simply show up as the best version of yourself. When you act from a place of grounded self-assurance, you become magnetic. And women are drawn to that kind of power. The Stoic life confidence comes from within. The key takeaway here, gentlemen, is simple: Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions or becoming cold. It's about finding your inner strength and confidence. It's about knowing that you can control your actions and reactions, but you can't control her emotions or behaviors. And once you understand this, the power you have in relationships shifts dramatically. Be the man who doesn't chase after her. Be the man who shows up as his full, confident self, whether the date is perfect or a little rocky. Be the Stoic man who knows that external circumstances don't define his worth. Your actions and your calmness are what will attract the right kind of woman. So stop trying to be an entertainer. Stop trying to fill every moment with words and jokes. Instead, be the guy who listens, who is fully present, and who moves with purpose. Women are attracted to men who are confident and secure, not to men who are desperately trying to entertain or impress. So, embody the Stoic life calm, collected, and in control, no matter the situation. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about how you handle imperfection. Number 4, be true to yourself. If you want to attract the right woman and build a deep, meaningful connection, there is one key truth you must embrace. Be true to yourself. You've heard it 1,000 times. But let's take a moment to break it down in a way that really makes sense. The phrase "be true to yourself" often gets tossed around in a way that can be misunderstood. It's not a free pass to be lazy, complacent, or stop growing. Being true to yourself doesn't mean staying stagnant. It doesn't mean you should settle for mediocrity. No, it's about embracing your authentic self, flaws, imperfections, strengths, and all, and showing up as that person in every situation, especially when it comes to relationships. So many men fall into the trap of pretending to be someone they're not, thinking that by doing so, they'll win the affection of a woman. Let's make this crystal clear. Stop doing that when it's the worst mistake you can make. You're never going to attract the right woman by wearing a mask. When you pretend to be someone you think she wants, you're not only being inauthentic, but also setting yourself up for disappointment. Women aren't interested in a facade. They are drawn to realness, to men who aren't afraid to stand in their truth. The real key to attracting the right woman isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and trusting that the right woman will be drawn to that. Stop chasing. Stop running after her approval or validation. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. And no, this doesn't mean you need to be perfect. Perfection isn't the goal. Self-awareness and growth are. When you focus on mastering your own life, when you live with intention and purpose, you'll notice a shift in the way women respond to you. They will begin to chase you, not because of what you say or do, but because of who you are. Your energy will change. Your confidence will radiate, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you are so grounded in your own truth that it's undeniable. Think about the modern Stoic philosophy here for a moment. One of the most powerful lessons from modern Stoicism and the old Stoic teachings is that true power comes from within. It's not about seeking approval from the outside world. It's about developing inner strength, calmness, and a clear sense of self. The ancient Stoics weren't about trying to bend the world to their will. Instead, they understood that peace and strength come when you control the one thing you can control: yourself. This is the blessing of Stoicism, understanding that your happiness and fulfillment are not dependent on anyone else but you. In relationships, this is crucial. When you stop focusing on what women might think of you and start focusing on what you think of yourself, something magical happens. You stop being desperate for their attention. You stop feeling like you need to prove your worth. And when this shift happens, that's when they start chasing you. Women are drawn to men who are self-assured, who know what they want, and who live with purpose. Let's be honest. You can't fake authenticity. If you try to pretend, it will show. Women are intuitive beings. They can sense when someone is pretending or playing games. And that's not attractive. What is attractive is a man who stands firm in his identity, who doesn't seek validation from others, but instead lives in alignment with his own values. You must embrace who you are, flaws and all, and be unapologetic about it. This is the essence of Stoicism, embracing the reality of who you are, without shame or guilt, and moving forward with strength and resolve. When you master yourself, the world around you changes. You stop worrying about what others think of you and start living for yourself. When you live this way, it becomes impossible for a woman not to be drawn to you, because women are attracted to men who are emotionally self-sufficient, who are rooted in their own lives, and who don't rely on external factors to feel validated. This is where the old Stoic wisdom shines through. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics of all time, wrote extensively about the importance of self-mastery and not allowing external circumstances to dictate your happiness. He believed that true freedom came from within, and that by focusing on improving your character, you create a life worth living, one that naturally attracts the right people, including a loving partner. This is the blessing of Stoicism, understanding that the foundation of any healthy relationship including attracting a woman, starts with how well you know yourself. Do not chase. Instead, master yourself first, and everything else will follow. The truth is that when you focus on yourself, your growth, your purpose, your passions, women will see your strength and be drawn to it. Stop worrying about how to make her fall in love with you and instead focus on being a man who has his own life in order. A man who knows his worth. A man who doesn't need anyone to complete him because he is already complete. Be that man. When you step into this power, you'll find that relationships become less about playing games and more about connecting deeply with someone who loves you for who you truly are. That's when the right woman will come into your life. So, remember, stop chasing. Be true to yourself. Master yourself. And watch the right woman be drawn to you like a magnet. That is the true power of Stoicism, living with purpose, authenticity, and strength. Number 5, embrace patience and timing. Mastering the art of attraction, especially when it comes to women, requires more than just charm and clever words. It demands a deep understanding of patience and timing. In today's world, we've become addicted to instant gratification. The desire for everything to happen quickly, especially in dating, leads many to rush or force an emotional connection, thinking that speed will bring success. But here's the critical truth you need to understand: real power, real attraction, lies in patience. It's the blessing of Stoicism that allows a man to sit back, remain calm, and trust the process. You must understand that in relationships, as in life, things unfold at their own pace. A modern Stoic doesn't force things to move faster than they should. He knows that the best things come with time. When you try to rush through the process, you're not only building unnecessary pressure, but you're also robbing the relationship of its natural flow. A man who understands the value of timing knows that true emotional strength is in his ability to wait, to give space, and to allow emotions to develop organically. Women, in particular, appreciate a man who doesn't need to rush. They are drawn to someone who respects the rhythm of the relationship, who trusts the journey without frantically pushing for immediate results. This sense of patience, of emotional steadiness, signals confidence. It's a silent assurance that the man in front of her knows what he's doing, that he's not desperate for validation, and he's capable of allowing things to grow at their own pace. This isn't about being passive. It's about having the confidence to let life unfold without trying to manipulate it. The old Stoic understood the importance of patience long before modern thinkers embraced the same ideals. When you cultivate patience in your life, you're not only improving your relationships, but also your decision-making process. Impulsive decisions driven by fear or insecurity often lead to regrets. Instead, by being patient, you create space for better choices. You don't act on whims or rush into things just to avoid feeling uncomfortable. When you're emotionally steady and in control, you demonstrate a powerful maturity that is irresistible. Attracting a woman isn't about pulling her in with speed or grand gestures. It's about drawing her in with your ability to stay grounded, to remain calm, and to trust the unfolding of the moment. This is where Stoicism truly shines. You must let go of the urge to force things to happen. Instead, trust in your inner strength and the timing of the situation. Your patience will speak volumes louder than any flashy move or desperate plea for attention. So be patient. Be steady. Let the emotional connection grow naturally and without force. When you embody this quiet strength, the results will come. Not because you forced them, but because you allowed them to happen on their own terms. You must be the man who understands that time is your ally, not your enemy. The blessing of Stoicism, the quiet confidence it brings, allows you to stand apart from the crowd, not because you're doing something flashy, but because you trust the journey. A Stoic man is in control of his emotions, and this mastery over himself is what makes him truly attractive. Be that man. Be the one who knows that patience isn't just waiting. It's waiting with purpose, with confidence, and with the quiet assurance that in time, all things will align perfectly. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me until the end. Here's the final takeaway I want you to walk away with. Stop chasing women. Stop trying to impress. Stop playing the game. I know it can feel like you need to do all these things to get a woman's attention. But the truth is, they're just distractions. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Master your own life first, and the rest will follow. Think about it. You want to be the kind of man who attracts what he wants naturally, not because he's putting on a show or trying to manipulate someone into liking him. Women, like everyone else, are drawn to strength, confidence, and authenticity. So be that man, the one who knows exactly who he is, what he wants, and doesn't need to chase after anyone to feel validated. Become the calm in the storm. Be the rock that others can rely on, and watch as your life transforms in ways that you may not even expect. If you really want to unlock her heart, and more importantly, create the kind of life and relationships that you truly deserve, then it all starts with you. It's not about fancy pickup lines, mind games, or tricks. It's about mastering yourself, being self-aware, and cultivating your own inner peace. The moment you do that, you'll attract everything you've ever wanted, naturally. So take everything you've learned today, apply it, and start seeing the changes in your life. Don't let fear or doubt stop you from becoming the man you're meant to be. And remember, it's a journey. Keep working on yourself, keep growing, and keep improving every day. If you're ready to take this even further, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We'll keep building the kind of life and relationships that you truly deserve, one step at a time. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.